Hello my peeps, this Algebra Nation video will cover page 108, problem square root 81, and problem square root 100.
How exciting. All right, so we need to simplify this guy, right? That's what the problem says. And I see we've got some numbers on top, some numbers on the bottom. We got to beware here. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, right? Well, the only thing I'm really going to be able to do is just simplify up and down. All right, now the one thing I know for sure is that I can only simplify numbers outside the square root with each other, and I can only simplify the numbers under the square root with each other. So why don't I just break this into two different fractions? Numbers outside the square root, that's going to be 3 over 12. And numbers inside the square root, that'll be square root of 6 over square root of 54. All right, so 3 over 12, well, 3 goes into 12 4 times, 3 goes into 3 once. So that guy's going to simplify down to 1 over 4. And then looking at this one, well, that's kind of a weird one, 6 over 54. How do I combine those together? Well, I could look at it and maybe play around with 54, but I'm going to take a guess here that 54 can probably be divided by 6, right? So let's take our calculator. We'll do 54 divided by 6. Yep, 54 divided by 6 is 9. So 6 goes into 54 9 times, 6 goes into 6 once. So on top we have square root of 1. On the bottom we have square root of 9. So look, notice how we simplified those just like they were the numbers outside. Basically we're sticking everything under square root under one square root and then simplifying the fraction and solving. All right, so we got 1/4. That's done. That's simplified. Now right here we have square root of 1 on top. Well, square root of 1 is 1. And square root of 9 on the bottom. Remember, 3 squared is 9, so square root of 9 is 3. And then we have these two fractions that we're multiplying together. To multiply across the top, that gives us 1. Multiply across the bottom, 4 times 3 gives us 12. So there's the answer. That wasn't too bad. Yeah, any questions on this guy?
If you do this on the EOC, you will get a 399 or higher. Look at this hustle, baby. Or maybe he just got a text from Mr. Phillips that the EOC scores were out, and he was running as fast as he could to get to his cell phone and find out his score. Too bad they didn't get to the Super Bowl this year. Problem number 10.
What's up, Algebra Nation? Let's go ahead and work through another sample question. And here it is, ready to go. We're asked, what is the area of the triangle below? And then we're even told, remember, area is equal to 1/2 base times height. So that's just the equation for the area of any triangle. Now the base is going to be the bottom, right? The base is the bottom. And then the height is measured up to the top point, the highest point of the triangle. Measure up to that highest point from the bottom. And remember, you have to measure along a line that's perpendicular to the base. So you could actually pick any side to be your base and then measure the height from there, as long as your height is measured perpendicular to that base. And notice we actually have that labeled here at the dotted line, and we're told that that height is square root of 3. All right, so square root of 3 is our height. Notice we're given that square root of 27 is the base. So we're just going to plug those in. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Our base is the square root of 27, and our height is the square root of 3. All right, so let's keep working through here. We have two square roots with numbers under the square root. Remember, we can just take those guys and put them under the same sign. Square root of 27 times 3. And square root of 27 times 3, go ahead and grab your calculator. 27 times 3 is going to give us 81. So 27 times 3, boom, 81. All right, so we just have square root of 81 underneath the radical. And then you may know what that's equal to, but if not, whenever I get a number under square root, I always test it on my calculator to see if I can get a nice whole number. So I just hit the square root button. Oh, awesome, that's equal to 9. Cool. So I can actually simplify that. I don't need to like factor it out or do any weird stuff like that. I can just say square root of 81. Well, square root of 81 is equal to 9. Awesome. Now I have 9 times 1/2. You can put those together to give us 9/2. Or, as so you could enter that into the grid on the EOC, or you could write this as 4.5. So you just go to your calculator, take 9, divide it by 2, and it tells you it's equal to 4.5. All right, now, just to be a stickler about this, we should have units because we're measuring something here. So whenever you measure, you have units. Now here we're actually not given any units. There are no units given to us. We're just told it's square root of 3 and square root of 27. So the units we're going to use are, watch this, it's magical. Wait for it, wait for it. We're going to use units for our units, right? What does that mean? That's just a placeholder. It means whatever our units happen to be. If they're feet, then we're going to measure in feet. If they're meters, it's meters. If it's time, whatever. Get the idea. Now, remember, we multiplied together. We got an area. We multiplied two numbers that were given in terms of units. So our overall units end up being units squared. All right, so that's the super mathy way to answer that. Now, on the EOC, you just need to make sure that you can get to the number answer. The unit squared thing is a little bit extra. But if you have questions on that, feel free to post on the wall. We'd love to help you out. It's been a pleasure doing all these practice problems. And good luck with everything, guys.